Warning. The following video contains strong language that some viewers may find offensive or disturbing.
What screams, pretending to be upper class? I work at an exotic car rental branch. I have plenty of customers that rent our cars and ask us to take the ID tags off the key ring, understandable. Then I have some that insist they get the same license plate each time and will flip out if I give them the same model as usual but with the plate one digit off. They're trying to make the appearance to whoever that they own the car and get themselves in a trap where they have to keep renting to keep up the illusion. That charade never lasts long. Rich people on Instagram are probably mostly fake rich. Buying followers. If I were a billionaire, I would not want to be tagged partying on a yacht. Especially not in 2020. The only rich people that like to be tagged on their yachts are stupid kids and celebrities that make a living off being a public figure. Most mega rich people that can afford a yacht don't want people to find them through social media. Wearing brand clothes that have the huge name of the brand on them. I used to work in one of the brand stores and these were literally made for the lower class that wants to show off. More expensive and higher quality items never had this flexing on them. Saw some guys at a stoplight in a convertible 6 Series BMW with the top down blasting music and wearing expensive clothes. I can see his dashboard, every possible warning light was on. Talking down to working class people. Don't get me wrong, there are definitely snooty arsehole upper class people, however in my interactions with them as a working class person in services they've always been extremely nice. My guess is because we both know who we are in society, so there are no pretensions. Fake upper class people have to completely reinforce the class divide. It had to be absolutely clear that they are and always have been above you. Part of me thinks it's resentment at what they might have used to have been and the other part thinks it's how they think other upper-class people behave. This is absolutely true. I used to be a bartender in a very high-end hotel. Our clientele was comprised almost entirely of upper-echelon business workers. Mid-high-end weddings. And high-end banquets. People with serious money don't give a fuck. If they have a problem, they aren't scared to tell you about it. And are happy as long as it gets rectified. Promptly. Otherwise they treat you like a human fucking being. And tip well, generally. People who think they have money are massive cockbags. These people act like hot shit. Treat service workers like hot shit. And you can see right through it. And you learn to tell immediately because of little things. Like accessories and attitude. People with money never show off the things that prove it. Like wallets, watches, jewelry, and purses. If they don't have money, they have one glaringly expensive accessory, and they flaunt that shit. Immediate red flag. People with money don't need to act or be told that they are important. Tryhards gonna try hard to make sure you notice they think they are awesome. And also skimp on the gratuity. 20 dudes who pooled their money to pay for one bottle service table at a Vegas club. Source, was one of those dudes. Taking out loans to get your family on a little vacation. My friend is doing this. I told him to save up for a trip like that. Apparently stuff around the house is stressing both him and his so badly with their kids that they are fighting over taking out $20,000 or $30,000 to go on a vacation. One vacation. Then it's back to fighting and whatnot. Absurd. Imagine, knowingly going into debt to go on one vacation. They both work too, which is even more baffling. We don't get anything that scream, pretending to be upper class in Australia at the moment. Thanks to our mining sector, at the height of the boom. Someone could leave high school, get some tickets, and pretty much walk into a 6-figure job on the mines. So the young man driving around in an expensive muscle car while covered in tattoos. Slabs of beer in the back. May not be pretending. But could be a cub, cashed up bogan. Same in the US with oil fields. I had several friends from here in Seattle that went to the Dakotas and got really high-paying jobs then blew it all on expensive cars. It's always amazing how these guys get these jobs and still manage to be broke. I guess it's what happens when you dive into money like that. Everyone I saw when I worked up in that area was driving brand new 1-ton trucks and wearing the most expensive jeans and boots possible to work. Putting entrepreneur on any social media platform bio. When I see this, I always think to myself, so you're unemployed. If they had built a business worth something, they would have written that you worked there. The fact that they say entrepreneur means they just have ideas and like to fantasize about doing something with them. Buddy of mine runs his own equipment servicing company. He just lists his occupation as service tech. McMansions without curtains or furniture in the upstairs. Curtains are fucking expensive, bro. In the high-end world they are referred to as draperies. Edit, alright all you smarty pants saying window treatments. My comment was replying to one where someone said curtains. All draperies are window treatments. But not all window treatments are curtains. Checkmate. I worked with my grandpa who owned a drapery and upholstery business, and it was fairly common for people to spend an easy $5K. Some of the bigger jobs dropped $10K plus without the bat of an eye. Hey, me too. Not owned by a family member though. One time I made draperies for 3 windows in one house. Just 3. It cost $11,000. On 3 freaking windows. I used to be concerned about how I looked dressed when going to a high-end retailer. Now I simply don't care. If they won't serve me when wearing jeans, then I'll just go somewhere else. You all work on commission, right? Big mistake. Huge. I have to go shopping now. Edit, thank you so much for my first gold. Not commission exactly, but my first job ever when I was a kid as a caddy at a very expensive country club. Every new guy would chase the players coming in with Rolls, Bentley, whatever else. After being there a while, I knew to wait for the dude rolling up in a Woody station wagon. That's where the tips were. Everyone who could afford a membership there had money. The ones that looked like they had the most had it because they kept it. Edit for clarity, when I say they kept it, I mean they hoarded it for spending it on themselves. Not for tipping peasants like me. The guy with the Woody old station wagon is probably the one who has enough that he doesn't care what anybody else there thinks. The few genuinely rich people I know don't care to show off because they've got nothing to prove. They'd rather spend time on things they care about, and are often quite generous to friends and people who do well by them. We took the wheels off our double wide, and bought plastic paneling that looks like bricks. Talking about how expensive everything you have is and how much money you have. I've found the truly wealthy people don't feel compelled to talk about it constantly. A friend of mine said that a woman she had to deal with would spend $20 on something worth $10. And then tell her she spent $30 on it. I mean, if it makes her happy. That dumb bitch. Then who are we to judge? Throwing parties every week. And calling everyone old sport. All for that girl that lives right across from you. Getting married in a big fat wedding by taking out loans. Borrowing from friends. Plus, getting super expensive rings when you can't afford 1/10 of it. When people act all rich but they've never even staged a South American coup for better tax rates on their fruit plantations. When every item of clothing you're wearing has a designer logo on it. Real rich people don't walk around looking like billboards. Constantly altering your pink Chanel suit to fit in at a country club. For once, maybe someone will call me sir without adding, you're making a scene. Single quote. My uncle and his wife are perfect examples. They bought a brand new Mercedes that they can't afford. Live in a house that's too big for them. Bought a caravan in a park where the ground rental is nearly $50K a year. They bought their kids expensive ass bikes that were never used, and what did they use to pay for all this? If you guessed credit cards, then you are correct. Credit cards and loans from my grandmother which they will never pay back. Then they make fun of my mother and I for being working class. Might as well spit on my grandfather's grave since he was working class through and through. Edit, I got the cost of the caravan rental wrong by $10K. It's $5K for the ground rental and they rent the caravan from the site for $35K. So the total is $40K. This was my bad, and my grandmother actually cleared this up for me. Edit 2, as someone pointed out, this number is apparently Seuss. I'm just going off what I was told. Yeah, financing a lifestyle is insane. Going into debt for luxury items is the craziest thing people do. Definitely buying cars you can't afford. I'm solidly middle class and drive a Ford Focus, don't buy one. They're shit, and a lot of people I work with that make less than I do roll in driving big expensive trucks or Mercedes cars. If I can't afford that. I know they can't. I'm a teacher. I'm a bit surprised by what I see some of my colleagues driving at the various schools I go into. Far too many luxury cars for it to the spouse paying for it. Some might be buying used. If it's a Lexus or Acura, it's not too expensive to maintain long term. They aren't used. And I'm not talking about Lexus or Acura. That's what our students drive. Carrot joke. Moving to LA despite not being able to afford living there. Buying expensive clothes, or fake ones, and owning a high-end phone. But you stretch your budget to do this in order to make it seem like you can afford excess when you really can't. And then not getting those expensive clothes tailored. If you are gonna buy the fancy clothes, spend the extra dollar to make sure they actually fit. Damn it. My wife makes sure I look good by buying me cheap clothes. And then tailoring them to me. It's pretty awesome. Thanks for watching. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, and hit the notification button. See you next time.